Hello guys, it's Sunset Shimmer here, and I wanted to come and condemn JC Animation Critic. I mean, she's been such a glorious type of help between me and my friends, of course, all throughout, how would I say, all throughout recommending these movies for you guys. I mean, it is the only way to get in touch with my character, if you know what I mean. So, if you want to hear more about Equestria Girls, hurry up and click that like and subscribe button. I'm pretty sure that Animation Critic will be pleased with what you have to offer. And so long, guys. I hope you guys have a good day and take care. That was a weird girl. I wonder where she went. I gotta work on that, by the way. Like, oh, this is Sunset Shimmer here. I gotta work on my voice because I want to do, like, you know, this type of voice acting. This is why Whoopcake is one of my favorite voice actors on the internet right now. But we're here to talk about another movie in the Equestria Girls line. Of course, this one is Equestria Girls Rainbow Rocks. Now, this is a movie that everybody seems to claim that is better than the original, and I do too as well. Everybody claims, every brony says, "Oh, it's great. It's an actual good movie, and everybody should go see it because it's a great movie. It has a great soundtrack. It has great villains. It has, actually has a decent plot. It has great characterization for a villain that we didn't care for much in the first movie. Oh, the joy, the joy, the joy, the joy." And I will say that while I do like this movie, I'm not going to be the one who says that everything about this movie is great, because there are some actual problems that I do have with the rest of this movie. So I'm just gonna come out here and say it, that this is probably not going to be my... It's still a good movie. It's still a good movie. It's like far better than the first one is. But I don't know if I should start with the good or the bad. I guess I should just start with explaining the plot per se. So we're back at Canterlot High. Yeah, that's the next movie. We're back at Canterlot High, and there's a big music competition, and pretty much what the Pinkie Pie, Fluttershy, Rainbow Dash, Applejack, Rarity, and... am I forgetting somebody? Pinkie Pie, Fluttershy, Apple Dash. Rainbow Dash, Applejack, Rarity... You asked me in the comments who I forgot. I'm sorry, I just can't remember right now. But... yeah, pretty much them are forming their own group, the Rainbows, and Sunset Shimmer is being an outcast because she does not fit in after the events of the last movie, while new villains called the Sirens enter and try to take over everybody's mind with their singing. Lovely. But there's one thing that there's one thing I want to say about this movie, because people keep on saying, "Oh, Equestria Girls, Equestria Girls, Equestria Girls," like... they keep on saying, yeah, we know that this is a toy commercial and everything like that. We know about this being an obvious toy commercial. And people kind of wanted a little bit denounce this movie. People extremely did not know what to think of this movie when it came out. And here's one thing I have to say. They trumped your idea, guys. They trumped your whole conclusion. Because this movie just automatically is like, you know what? You guys didn't like that first movie? Fine. We're going to make sure that pretty much the second movie is 10 times better than the actual original, has some characters that you will relate to and like, and also have great animation as well as great villains. You know what? They improved. They dramatically improved. They improved on the animation, which is so much better than the first one, I would say, especially with the lighting and the camera angles and such like that. They improved. They automatically improved right there. But there's also one thing that people also keep on praising this movie for, and that is Sunset Shimmer's performance in this movie. And she is, without a doubt, probably, I don't want to say like, you know, best, I kind of want to say best performance, but there are some moments sprinkled in between the third and fourth movie that she actually has like the level of the second movie there as well. But this is by far her best performance. It's her overcoming her fear about doubt and also trying to fit in when a couple of months ago she was literally trying to enslave the world. So it's a reformed villain, but it's done well here. You get to see the progression between these movies about her from being a bad guy to being kind of on split and then finally being reformed, and it's great. This is a really great reformed villain. I wish we could have had that with another character with a similar name to her. I know some people like her, some people don't. I'm one of those people who's just trying to give her a chance. And if she does not pull off season 6 finale, I'm not gonna care for her, because honestly, I don't find her all that interesting. But either way, off to that topic, I'm talking about Sunset Shimmer here. She's absolutely wonderful in this movie, and she deserves all the praise she gets for her performance in this movie. And the Sirens also are really, really great, intimidating villains, you know, with that voice and everything having to sound like a poetic little song, in fact. Yeah, that demonic little voice in there. And there's Arya, there's Arya, Sonata, and Adagio, and they're both incredibly great. Of course, their singing is like some of the best songs that you will have in this movie, and probably one of Daniel Ingram's like best work per se. Like, I consider this one of his best work in my opinion. But they're incredibly intimidating villains and kind of suggestive villains as well, because when you see Adagio like petting people's hair and like touching their chin like that and stuff like that, that's kind of suggestive for a G-rated movie. But they're amazing as, you know, Equestria Girls villains. Of course, people consider them the best in the Equestria Girls franchise, and I also consider that too. And I talked about the animation, I talked about the villains, I talked about Sunset Shimmer's character. And also, I would admit that it is a lot more funnier here than the first movie, about, you know, the actual fan pandering that this movie has actually freaking works. It's not just there just to be there. It actually works. So, I talked about those. Now I'm going to get to the more criticism things about this movie, because people want to say, oh, great movie. No, I won't say that, because there are some problems. One problem in here that I really found, like, I didn't notice it, but after a few times I had to watch it, the dialogue in here, some of it seems very unnecessary and even kind of bad. I'm not gonna lie, like, some of the dialogue in here with the main 6 arguing about, you know, the band and stuff like that, and some of the explanation of the plot I thought was really poorly worded per se. I just kind of felt the dialogue was just kind of treading water per se, and I could not get over the fact that some of the dialogue was just kind of bad. And the characterizations of these movies, I know people are going to say they're teenagers, but you can still write teenage characters interesting and in kind of an adult way. And I feel like the characters that get it worse than these movies is Rainbow Dash and Rarity. I really do think that they don't cooperate in the humor world and are only defined by like one simple thing. I mean, Rainbow Dash wants to win and is very competitive, and Rarity likes making dresses. That's pretty much their characterization throughout this entire movie. And I will get in Applejack too, but I don't know. I mean, she was being a little bit less obnoxious than Rarity and Rainbow Dash were, and they did not have great characterization in this movie. And I would say that sometimes the pacing was a little bit off per se, but it wasn't as blatant as Equestria Girls. And to me, like, it could be a little bit off, but otherwise I found the pacing quite fine. So I would say that, you know, the characterization of like 2 of the main 6 and the rest, and maybe even Applejack, I don't know, and the rest are probably like non-entities like Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy. Like they're pretty much non-entities in this. And I don't know, it just seems really. And also, let me just get to, and also Twilight, who I understand why, like, people try to argue that she wasn't supposed to be in this movie. I can see both sides. I can see her not appearing in this movie, but I can also see her, like, kind of appearing in this movie as to, quote-unquote, be the opposite of Sunset in this movie. But I didn't really see much of her doing anything. I didn't see really much of a reason for her to come back to the human world to go and try and help, because it was already done already. They just needed Sunset to sing her magical song, and everything would be fine. And I did not see much of a reason for Twilight to be there. So you guys might think that I just think that this is. Well, I think it's stupid to not think that I think that this is a good movie. I'm sorry, I used I in 2 sentences. But I do think that this is a good movie. And it's just something that people praise to high heaven for this. And do I think that it's overrated in some parts? Yeah, I think that it is. But it's deserving of some recognition because of how much better it is than the first movie. And I do consider it better. I mean, we got great animation, we got I'm just gonna call it pandering, but we got fan pandering that actually works. We got great villains, and we got a new character that people can relate to. I mean, when I watched this, I could not believe how much characterization they put into Sunset Shimmer again. I could not believe it, and I thought it was amazing how much they did it, especially with, I'm just gonna get to right now, like, my favorite scene throughout the entire movie is, again, a hallway scene, but it's involving Sunset and the Dazzlings. Absolutely adore that scene. I adore that dialogue, and I adore Sunset and the Dazzlings just trying to manipulate her, and, you know, having that glimpse that she could go turn to the dark side, but, you know, decides to stick to her guns per se, and just, you know, kind of feels a little bit of self-doubt against herself. I think that's the best scene throughout the entire movie, and it's just character scenes that really make it for me. So on the whole, I really do think that this is better than Equestria Girls, but in some parts I could say that it is, like, sort of overrated. I do like some of the characters in this movie. I do like the animation, and I do really do love that soundtrack. I mean, it's one of Daniel Ingram's best things. But I mean, it's a good movie. It's a good movie, even while the first one had to pretty much rely on you knowing about this the MLP series. This one, you know, kind of derives from that, and it gets a little bit less and less canon as it goes along. So that's all I had to say for Equestria Girls Rainbow Rocks, and I'll see you guys for Friendship Games. So, as always, JC Animation Critic out. See you guys later. Take care.